Have you ever gone to bed feeling perfectly fine, only to wake up exhausted, foggy, restless, or strangely hungry? Many people over 60 assume it's just aging. But what if the real issue isn't your age? What if it's something you are eating after 7 p.m.? Here's the shocking truth. Some common evening foods can silently disrupt blood sugar levels while you sleep, increasing inflammation, damaging blood vessels, interfering with brain function, and making it harder for your body to recover overnight. The most dangerous food on today's list is often considered healthy. Millions of seniors eat it every evening, believing they're making a smart choice. Stay with me, because the number one food may completely change the way you think about nighttime eating. I'm Dr. Adrian Cole, and for over 20 years I've worked with older adults focusing on healthy aging, blood sugar control, nutrition, longevity, and brain health. A pattern appears again and again among my patients. Many people work hard to improve their health. They walk regularly, take medications correctly, and attend doctor's appointments. Yet their blood sugar remains stubbornly elevated. Often the missing piece isn't breakfast or lunch, it's what happens after dinner. Researchers studying aging and metabolism have found that the body's ability to process glucose becomes less efficient with age. In simple terms, the same evening snack you tolerated at 40 may affect your body very differently at 60, 70, or 80. That's why nighttime eating deserves more attention than most people realise. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Comment below. How old are you? Do you have diabetes, prediabetes, morning fatigue, brain fog, poor sleep, or sugar cravings? Your story may help someone else feel less alone. Now let's begin our countdown. Number 5, sweetened yogurt. This one surprises almost everyone. After all, yogurt has a healthy reputation. Plain yogurt can absolutely be part of a balanced diet, but flavoured yogurt is the problem. Many varieties contain surprisingly large amounts of added sugar, some with sugar levels similar to desserts. Consuming these products late in the evening can cause significant blood glucose spikes. Think of your bloodstream like a highway. When too much sugar enters at once, traffic becomes congested, and your body must work harder to manage the load. Over time, repeated nighttime glucose spikes may contribute to insulin resistance, a strong risk factor for type 2 diabetes. But here's something even more concerning. Researchers are increasingly studying the connection between elevated blood sugar and cognitive decline because the brain depends on healthy glucose regulation. One patient, Margaret, age 68, believed her evening fruit-flavoured yogurt was helping her health. Instead, it was contributing far more sugar than she realised. After replacing it with plain Greek yogurt and a handful of walnuts, her fasting glucose readings began improving within weeks. The change seemed small, but the results were significant. And if you think sweetened yogurt is concerning, wait until you discover the food ranked number 4. Many seniors eat it every single night, believing it's one of the healthiest snacks available. If you thought sweetened yogurt was surprising, wait until you hear about the next food. It's often seen as a healthy alternative to candy or dessert. However, for many adults over 60, it can lead to significant blood sugar spikes during the night. Number 4 on our list is dried fruit. Raisins, dates, dried apricots, and dried cranberries may seem harmless at first. After all, they come from fruit. But here's the catch. When fruit is dried, the water is removed, concentrating the natural sugars into a much smaller package. Eating a handful of raisins is not the same as eating a handful of grapes. The sugar becomes much more concentrated. Plus, dried fruit is easy to consume quickly, leading many people to eat more than they realise. For seniors, this is crucial. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at regulating glucose. A concentrated source of sugar late at night can create the perfect storm for overnight blood sugar instability. Take Robert, for example, a 72-year-old who was shocked to find his fasting glucose levels rising despite avoiding desserts. The culprit? A large bowl of raisins every evening. He thought he was making a healthy choice. Once he switched to fresh berries and a protein-rich snack, his glucose readings stabilised. But what comes next is even more common, and may be on your dinner table tonight. Number 3 is white rice, white bread, and refined carbohydrates. These foods have been staples for generations. They're familiar, comforting, and affordable. But metabolically, they behave very differently than many realise. When you eat refined carbohydrates, your digestive system quickly converts them into glucose, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar. Imagine throwing dry paper into a fire. It burns intensely and quickly. That's how refined carbohydrates act in the body. In contrast, fibre-rich foods burn more slowly and steadily. Many seniors experience the consequences without connecting them to their meals. They wake up tired, hungry, foggy, or restless at night, assuming it's just aging. But blood sugar instability may play a larger role. Research has shown links between chronic glucose spikes and increased inflammation, a major factor in age-related conditions like cardiovascular disease, metabolic dysfunction, and cognitive decline. One patient, Eleanor, came to me worried about her memory shortly after her 70th birthday. She was forgetting appointments, misplacing items, and losing track of conversations. When we reviewed her habits, we found a pattern: large portions of refined carbohydrates at dinner, night after night. While no single food causes memory loss, improving her nutrition stabilized her energy and blood sugar levels, giving her hope. And hope matters because many seniors feel powerless when health issues arise. Knowledge creates options, and options create change. Coming up next, the dessert food that secretly sabotages blood sugar. Overnight, the most dangerous food on this list. And a surprising truth about nighttime eating that many doctors never explain. Before we continue, let me know in the comments which food has surprised you the most so far. If you are finding value in this video, make sure to subscribe because the next two foods cause the biggest blood sugar problems I see in adults over 60. We've already uncovered 3 foods that can quietly disrupt blood sugar levels while you sleep. Now we're entering the most important part of today's countdown. The next 2 foods are among the biggest nighttime blood sugar triggers I see in adults over 60. And the number 1 food surprises nearly everyone. Number 2, ice cream and frozen desserts. Few foods feel more comforting after dinner than a bowl of ice cream. For many seniors, it's a nightly ritual, a reward, a tradition, a moment of comfort at the end of the day. Unfortunately, your metabolism sees something very different. Most ice creams combine 2 ingredients that can be particularly challenging for blood sugar control: large amounts of sugar and significant amounts of saturated fat. This combination creates what many nutrition specialists consider a metabolic double burden. The sugar rapidly elevates blood glucose, while the fat slows digestion, keeping glucose levels elevated for longer periods. Imagine trying to repair a road while heavy traffic continues flowing through it. That's similar to what your body experiences overnight. Instead of focusing fully on repair and recovery, it must continually manage excess glucose. One patient, Patricia, age 74, struggled with elevated fasting blood sugar despite making healthy choices throughout the day. Every evening, she enjoyed what she considered a small serving of ice cream. When she began monitoring portions and replacing that habit with higher protein evening options, her morning glucose levels improved significantly. The change wasn't dramatic overnight, but over several months, the difference became undeniable. And here's something many people never hear. Blood sugar isn't only about diabetes. Researchers continue investigating links between glucose regulation and brain health, inflammation, cardiovascular function, and cognitive performance. In other words, what happens to your blood sugar tonight may influence far more than tomorrow's glucose reading. Mid-video message. If you're learning something new today, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. This community is dedicated to helping adults over 60 stay mentally sharp, physically active, and independent for as long as possible. And stay with me, because the number 1 food on this list is marketed as healthy. Millions of seniors consume it regularly, yet it may be one of the biggest hidden blood sugar traps of all. A shocking fact. Before number 1, here's something researchers have learned about aging and metabolism. Blood sugar doesn't need to reach diabetic levels to affect health. Even repeated moderate spikes can contribute to metabolic stress over time. Think of a dripping faucet. One drop doesn't seem important, but thousands of drops eventually create damage. The same principle applies to blood sugar. Small choices repeated every day often shape long-term outcomes. And that's exactly why the final food deserves your attention, because it looks healthy, sounds healthy, and is often recommended by well-meaning people. Yet, it may be creating blood sugar problems many seniors never suspect. The number one food is coming up next, and once you hear it, you may never look at your evening snack the same way again. We've reached the number one food, and if you've watched this far, you've learned that some of the biggest blood sugar problems don't come from obvious junk food. They often come from foods that appear healthy, foods people trust, and foods they eat with the best intentions. This brings us to the final item on today's list. Number 1. Fruit smoothies and healthy evening drinks. This surprises almost everyone. After all, fruit is healthy, and for most people, whole fruit can absolutely be part of a balanced diet. But smoothies are different, especially when consumed after 7 p.m. Here's why. Many smoothies contain multiple servings of fruit blended together. Bananas, mangoes, pineapple, fruit juice, honey, yogurt, sometimes all in the same glass. The result is a concentrated source of rapidly absorbed sugar. Because the fibre structure is altered through blending, it's often much easier to consume large amounts very quickly. Most people wouldn't sit down and eat 2 bananas, a cup of pineapple, a glass of juice, and honey all at once. Yet many smoothies contain exactly that. For adults over 60, this can create a substantial nighttime glucose surge. One patient named Charles, aged 73, couldn't understand why his fasting blood sugar remained elevated. He exercised, walked daily, avoided desserts, and followed medical advice, yet his morning readings stayed high. When we reviewed his habits, we discovered an evening smoothie containing fruit juice, bananas, and honey. He viewed it as a health drink, but his metabolism viewed it differently. After making a few simple changes, his readings improved dramatically. And that's the lesson. Sometimes the foods we trust most deserve a second look. Now, I want to be very clear. No single food causes diabetes. No single snack destroys health. And no one should feel guilty for occasionally enjoying foods they love. Health is about patterns, consistency, and awareness. What matters most is what happens repeatedly over months and years, especially after 60. Aging changes how the body handles glucose. The same evening meal that caused no problems at 40 may have a very different effect at 70. That's not failure, that's biology. Once you understand it, you can adapt. Many seniors benefit from evening foods that provide protein, fibre, and healthy fats. Examples include plain Greek yogurt, nuts, seeds, cottage cheese, small portions of berries, and hard-boiled eggs. These foods tend to create more stable blood sugar responses while supporting overnight recovery. Think of them as slow-burning fuel rather than a sudden burst of energy. If you're over 60, remember something important. Healthy aging isn't about restriction. It's about protection. Protecting your energy, memory, independence, and ability to enjoy life on your terms. I've worked with countless adults in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s who continue living vibrant, active, meaningful lives, not because they found a miracle, but because they respected the power of small daily choices. The choice to move, nourish their bodies, learn, and keep going. Those decisions add up. Every healthy choice you make tonight is an investment in tomorrow. Your future self is built one habit at a time, so don't underestimate the power of what you eat after 7 p.m, because sometimes the smallest habits create the biggest results. Now I'd love to hear from you. How old are you? And which food on today's list surprised you the most? Leave your answer in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, subscribe and join our growing community, focused on healthy aging, blood sugar control, brain health, longevity, and wellness after 60. And don't miss our next video. Doctor warns, 7 silent signs. Your blood sugar is damaging your body after 60. Until next time, I'm Dr. Adrian Cole. Stay healthy, stay strong, and remember, every smart choice today helps build a healthier tomorrow.